Good Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, my name is Kelly and welcome back to our Investing 101 series. If this is your first time tuning into our session, Pitchin is Malaysia's leading equity crowdfunding platform, also a registered market operator known as RMO with the Securities Commission of Malaysia. Pitchin Equity has successfully helped startup collectively raise more than 200 million ringgit to date, the most among all ECF platforms in Malaysia. Equity crowdfunding gives investors the opportunity to invest in fast-growing companies that have high potential for growth, where the public, such as retail investor, can invest alongside angel and sophisticated investors. For more information and to find out how you can invest, head over to www.equity.pitchin.my. At Pitchin, we regularly run these webinars for both investors and business owners who are looking to raise funds. If this is something of your interest, don't forget to like our Facebook page so we can keep you regularly updated on all our programs. If you're currently tuning in on Zoom, you can use the chat button to chat with the audience, and please use the Q&A button located at the bottom right for all questions. If you are currently tuning in via Facebook and would like to join us on Zoom, we have pasted the Zoom link of the webinar in the comment section. If you choose to stay on Facebook, you can paste all your questions at the comment section and we will answer accordingly. Well, today I have three very special guests. We have Ethan from Kakitangan.com, we have Wei Ming from SpeedHome, and Edwin from Signature Market. All three of them have raised successfully with Pitchin in the past years. So Ethan raised a total of 1.5 million with Pitchin, I believe. Wei Ming raised 2 rounds, total of 4.5 million with Pitchin, and Edwin raised a total of 1.5 million with Pitchin. And today's session, it will be just a casual chit-chat session to know, how the founders are doing, what is life like after fundraising, and if they've progressed after their fundraised. So, Ethan, how are you doing?
Good. I think, Kelly, one thing I think worth to note is the time of raising. I think on Kakitangan, we raised at 2016. Evan, you are 2017, right?
Yes, correct. 2017. Yep.
And Wei Ming?
2019 and 2017. 2017 and 2019.
Yeah, so Wei Ming had 2 rounds. So yeah. Going back to your question, Kelly. So how are we doing? So we make Kakitangan.com, so an online leave, payroll, expense claim, time attendance software, and at the same time we help SMEs to find advisors from experienced HR people in building their companies and business. So nowadays, you may have heard Kakitangan on radio these days. We're coming to our peak season. Many people start onboarding to Kakitangan.com during the EA form and E form period. We are handling somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 customer inquiries every month at the moment. So that's the current status. Yeah, we are in a peak time. So I pass to
Edwin?
Edwin.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me introduce Signature Market. Signature Market is the biggest wellness marketplace in Malaysia. Okay, so we sell a lot of things, groceries. Okay, and our vision is actually to uplift Malaysian people to have an upgraded life. Yeah. So the question is how are we, right? Is it?
How are you doing? Given the COVID, given the pandemic, how is things for you?
Oh, okay. So for us, COVID is actually a blessing for us. Okay, so everyone goes online to purchase. So this year we actually grew quite a lot. We grew more than 50% this year. So super grateful and blessed.
Wow,
yeah.
Wonderful. Wei Ming, how about you? How are you doing with the pandemic and how are you welcoming 2022?
I think we raised 2.5 million in 2019 with Pitchin. Then last year, 2020, we raised another round of around close to 7 million ringgit. Especially, during the full lockdown, SpeedHome, we are also the largest rental platform in Malaysia. We specialize in insurance selling. And what we do is we connect the landlords and tenants to rent. Now, I think the whole pandemic did accelerate the digitalization of our business. A lot of people come to our platform, and especially when we do virtual viewing, and we take a lot of videos of the house to ease up the rentals, to view the house without being physically present. The big problem was, even though we can match the transactions, a lot of JNBs, the management, because close to 95% of transactions were condominiums, right? So all of them have a management, and a lot of them do not allow moving, right? So that actually, it's a chicken and egg issue where we enable people to rent the house, but the physical moving part of it is forbidden, right? So, but despite that, I think after we have a short period of opening and stuff, I think we double our business. This year, I think this year in 2021, I think we grew not that much because actually the lockdown is way longer than last year. So we actually we ever since the relaxation, I think our business has started to hit all-time high continuously for the past 2 to 3 months. So I think we are always breaking up. So I think things are looking great for us. Just that the timing was towards end of the year, so we cannot say, oh, we grew a lot or what. But I think last quarter is showing the growth that we want to achieve.
Congrats. It has been really hard. I think everyone also, we don't really know work from home arrangement, the whole COVID situation, but I'm glad now all of us are progressing. So I'd like to ask the floor as well. After you raised with Pigeon, did you raise any round, and how much did you raise afterwards? Maybe Edwin, you want to start first?
Okay. So for us, we raised in 2017 in Pigeon. So in 2019, we actually raised Series A, and we raised 4 million. Okay, and since then we are actually break even and we are profitable right now. Yeah. Okay, Evan.
Thank you, Erwin. So at Kakitangan, we raised another 2 rounds after the equity crowdfundings in Pigeon. So one round from led by BFM Capital, and a round by OSK Ventures, totaling about 6 million plus.
Recording in progress.
Wei Ming, pass to you.
Yeah, Wei Ming, sorry.
I think I mentioned just now we raised around after the last round, we pitched in last year we raised another 7 million, led by Gobi and Allianz Malaysia. So I think those are the two investors that came in last year. Yeah, but not last year, actually just this year, 2021, right? It's still few months ago.
So do you mind sharing with the floor the difference between raising through equity crowdfunding and raising through venture capitalists?
I think raising through crowdfunding, a lot of it is about publicity, marketing, and speaking to a lot of retail investors. And the question that I think a lot of them are mainly buying to the idea of they believe in the concept, they believe in the vision. A lot easier to talk, but ultimately because the investment that retail investor can put in is only that much, right? So generally, I think if you are raising smaller rounds, it's okay. But once you want to raise a big round, I think you would need a lot of effort to build up that many retail investors to eat up the whole chunk. Whereas for institutional investors, apart from just your story, a lot of it goes into the sustainability of the company. A lot of their financial analysts that comes in to look into that and ask a lot more about the business sustainability in terms of user acquisition, what's the total lifetime value, and a lot of more of those discussions. Generally, even though I think Gobi has led the round, Allianz was more of passive investor, because startup investing is a totally different investment philosophy. Therefore, Gobi was leading the round, and I think we have had, we enjoy a very good relationship with Gobi so far. So I think dealing with retail has its own good. Institutional have different considerations as well.
Thank you. Evan, would you like to share your experience to the floor?
Since we started, our ECF in 2016, consider one of the earlier one. So these few years, yes, indeed, quite a number of friends and our business partners are asking me, like, what's the difference, right, between equity crowdfunding and institutional investors. I think a lot of things has been talked over in different channels and sessions. I guess one thing I would like to point out, if you are thinking to raise in pitching in future, all right? So talking about the audience, if you're thinking to raise in pitching in future, one of the consideration is actually time effect. When you start the company, you are, as a founder, time is the most important thing to you. Okay, fundraising, it spend a lot of time. All right, so a common situation that you talk to investor A, investor B, investor C, investor D, assuming it's not a equity crowdfunding, right? So if you talk to a lot of different investors, they may come in at a different timing, and they may come in at a different terms and condition, right? So trust me, right? Most of the people will love you, right? So no one said no to you. They say it looks nice, everything is good, so you're waiting, right? Waiting and waiting and waiting, right? You don't know when that will be realized, but time is not on the startups and the founder sides, right?
Yeah.
So a good thing about equity crowdfunding is now you have a defined time window, and you try to define a terms and condition, okay, and then it changed the chemistry of the entire investors, startups discussions, right? So it's like, okay, this is how it be, interested or not, right? If you're interested, this is the term and condition, and this is the time, all right? Yeah. Yes, no, it's okay. We still be friends if it's no. I just talk to another person then, right? So then that reduces the say yes but not happening, that kind of dragging, and that's quite precious to a lot of founders. I think this particular point has not been introduced in a lot of sessions, but I think it's a very big value to the startups.
Okay, thank you, Evan. Edwin, would you like to share your story?
Okay, so actually, in my point of view, it's so amazing that ECF now is already increased the limit to 20 million. Okay, and actually ECF is the easiest fundraising ever. Okay, so the terms is actually that it's not preference share, it's common share, so it's actually very, very entrepreneur friendly as well. So I think if it is your first investment, okay, ECF should be like a very good early starting. Okay, so for VC wise, it's actually very complex, but then we do gain some value out of VC as well. Okay, so one of the most amazing value that we gain from VC is their governance. Okay, so they it's all about like getting your governance ready to become a bigger company, right? So when you are smaller company, okay lah, it's okay lah, it's fine lah, because the founder can take care of everything. The founder see everything. Okay, so what the VC help us to do is to set up a series of governance and decision making. So for companies who wants to go IPO or no or beyond, yeah, I think VC is a good like a milestone or a middle step. Yeah.
Mhm. So I have a question for all three of you. So let's say on the floor, there's some entrepreneur that wants to raise funds, but they can't decide, right? Do they go to the ECF route or do they go to the VC route? Which would you recommend them and why? Maybe Evan, you want to start?
Yeah. This is, well, there's no perfect answers, right?
Yeah.
I would say it depends on the timing, depends on the situation on your side, right? So if you're so confirmed that you can close this round with institutional investor, well, fine, that's a decision as well. But what do you, is who give you more value, right? So that's another things. And time is a value, don't forget. So
Yeah.
time is another value. So which one save your time? So normally when you are in the earlier stage of company, first 3 years, time value is very, very high, very, very high. So you, because you assuming you really have the addressable markets, all you need to do is really you need to capture as much as possible at that time frame. So and also to justify that your model's working, right? So time is not at your side. Once you get to the next stage, when you have operations running, and if you are having more runways and more time, then that's the time that you can talk about, okay, what kind of value you can get from the future partnerships. So those that is a different discussion then. So yeah, depends on your situation and depends on your timing.
So coming back to you, Evan, right? Because you are fundamentally a B2B business, and and Win and Wei-Ming is more towards B2C. Does it changes your strategy at all when it comes to equity crowdfunding?
Interesting.
Hmm.
So, well, of course, it could be slightly different. But in fact, in 2016, a lot of people remember Kakitangan case study because it was the first, I think it was the first ECF in Malaysia that has more than 10 people invest.
Yeah, and it was also a B2B business.
So it was like, the first B2B, the first more than 10 people. Like we finally, I think we closed 63 people. Right, so the security commission used it as a case study, so to say, okay, it's working, right? So now we had quite a number of customers actually buying our share. So
like your users that were you buying your shares?
Yeah, users, right? So they are business person themselves. They're using it. So I don't need to actually tell them what Kakitangan is. Actually, they know more than me because they're using it every day, right? So to them, then it's more straightforward discussion. It's like, where are you heading to? Okay, where's the direction? Is that the direction that I'm buying in? All right. So that's what they are going. The direction of the entire communication goes to a right direction, I felt, right? So it's good. Consumer wise, it could be very different. I'll pass to the two gentlemen to talk about that.
So maybe Wei-Ming first,
the
B2C market side, when you were doing your campaign, was it very different compared to your VC round?
I think the question was about whether to choose institutional or ECF, right? Just to give you some context, when we did SpeedHome, before pitching, before the term ECF actually came about, we tried to raise from institutional investors. But at that point, there wasn't any institutional investor that were willingly to invest in us. So we actually went to our own customer back then and organized our own private session. Each of them have to invest minimum 50K. and there were 8 of them that invested in us. So we are still very grateful for them to believe in us.
Mhm.
Then after that, then after that, 500 startup came in, but there wasn't a lot of institutional investors. Then ECF came in. Again, come back to the same thing, right? It's about ease and speed of raising. Then we raised our first round. Pretty much we did a lot of guerrilla campaign and a lot of marketing campaign to target the consumer, because that's where it's a B2C business, right? And we leverage on a lot of our customer base. Then moving forward, it was 2018, that round. We were 2019, sorry. We were actually discussing with few institutional investors for investment, and actually some of them actually we were close to signing a term sheet. Then COVID happened.
Ouch. Oh no.
Yeah, that was when the whole thing like totally went dead silent, right? And because we were very confident we were going to close the institutional round, so suddenly we got really tight because runway in the bank was seriously low. We were talking about less than 3 months. So I think from then, I think we contacted Pitch In that we wanted to do a round really fast. Then we mobilized the whole team to actually switch to crowdfunding, and we raised 2.5 million in less than a month from start to end. Right. So I think to answer just now that question, I think when we talk about speed, that is how fast it can be. That is assuming you have all the documentation ready. Of course, for us, when we talk to institutional investor, all these documents we already have. So once you have all these documents, then you can really go fast and furious. Again, if you have a good customer base, then you can raise this very fast. Yeah. So I think coming back to Evan, reinforcing that it's a lot easier to raise. Obviously, like I again reinforce this thing is that if you want to raise 2 to 3 million, I think it's okay for ECF. I don't think there are many that actually go to 10 million in one round. There are few of them. I wouldn't say they are in general easy, and they are all superstar CEO or whatever. So I don't want you all to think that, oh, it's super easy to raise 10 million. It's never easy. Yeah, so I think in terms of speed, yeah. So if you have enough time, like us, we spent 1 year talking to institutional investor and it didn't materialize. That is a big bummer for us. And timing is really bad.
Okay, understood, Wei Ming. Edwin, I know you have some stories to share as well. You know, your campaign was also pretty successful in Pigeon. Maybe you want to share your opinion?
Okay, so actually Signature Market is a consumer brand. Okay, so when your business is a consumer brand, when people like eat and can feel and like consume, it's actually very emotional, and it's actually very easy for us because it's a consumer brand. It's something that you can eat, right? So and for us, how do we gauge like if the campaign is going to be successful or not? It's actually really depends on if our customer is asking, hey, I like your stuff. Can I invest in your company? Are your company IPO already? So it's actually a very emotional thing, and it's a very normal progression for customer to become an investor. Because why is it important? Is because when the brand grows up, okay, and the customer actually gets the benefit of like they consume, and they also get benefit from the equity that they invest in. So it's a double thing. It's actually very, very useful for consumer business, ECF. Yeah.
Actually, I would like to kind of Kelly, if you can allow a few more minutes, I would like to actually bring out parts of another sides of angle on the fundraising. So just now we talked about, yes, equity crowdfunding is good, easier closing, customers are more you can find friendly parties that love what you're doing. One suggestion, if you're listening to this and you're planning to go for equity crowdfunding, one thing that I would suggest you to double think about it is to control your temptation for too high the valuation is. Because in a lots of cases, well, of course, because we can raise this valuation, of course we raise, right, to maximize the raising. That is actually a double-edged sword. Need to be very careful, because what happened is unless you are very confident, you raise this round, next round you're not going to raise. You're going to break even. You're going to slowly build up your from there onwards. You're slowly build out your business. So it's just a matter of time that they can get the premium of the value. That's fine. If it is not the case, control the temptation for super high valuation. Keep it, keep it and think about next round. If you raise the money, how much would people willing to pay for it, right? So because you would need a next round and next round, then you need to make sure this round's people is making money, or at least on paper, in the next round. All right, so they are all in to support you continuously, right? So those are the thing to think about for anyone who is interested to raise and trying to raise. Think about it. I strongly recommend that.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much for that input, Evan. Edwin is back. Okay, yeah, he went missing for a bit. So I think I want to quickly pull this conversation to, for the investors, right? So how have you been reaching out or talking or updating your investor? Maybe you can share what you have been doing after your ECF round. How do you connect your investor and how often do you update them? Wei Ming, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, we made it a very standard that every quarter we will have investor meeting with our crowdfunders. We actually every quarter we will send shareholder letters to all of our investors just to brief them on the progress. I mean, we have been very upfront of our progress, and obviously not everything is not everything we score with flying colors, right? So obviously we are always upfront in saying where did we do well and where we didn't do well and where are we going to improve and where we're going to invest. I think most of the investors have been very helpful and supportive. So I think so far, I think a lot of people were worried that, you will deal with a lot of retail investor and retail investor would kacau you and all those. I haven't had that. Not very often, to be honest. So I think the concern of there are too many investors to manage is overstatement. So I think we did. I think so long you have quarterly discussion, I think everyone would not want to bother you at all because they have their own life to worry about as well, right? So yeah, that's pretty much our experience.
Evan, what about your side? How often do you reach out to your investor and how often do you update them?
So there is two batch of our investors. For the equity crowdfunding generally, every 2 to 3 months, we have an email updates, on the numbers, on what are we doing, where are we going to, what kind of help we need. So we had the email. For the bigger ticket size, people like they put down 2 million ringgit and above. That batch of investors has a monthly numbers update. So in our board, there is 2 investor representative Every quarter we run a board meeting. So that's the structure currently we are setting up lah. So well, more than enough for hopefully for you lead market or even ACE market on the schedules lah, I hope. But yes, I think Evan is right that eventually when we start handling more and more investors and shareholders, it is our duty and responsible to build out the corporate governance and the structure of the reporting. If you really want the company to grow bigger, right? So that's the thing we should really invest into.
Yeah. So speaking of retail investors, have you ever actually gotten any of them that calls you for updates or any horror story that you experienced, or have everything just been pleasant?
No, some of them also reach out to me once in a while. We chat with it. I think we had investors who need the cash and sold off her share. So she got a buyer, so that takes up her share. So then we and also pitch in, facilitate the transaction in that side. That's fine. In general, that's where it goes lah. So I would say actually I kind of knows Wei Ming's reporting. I love his reporting.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I can say. But in general, I think at the end of the day, it's people also wanted to feel what's going on and where are you heading to. So at least they feel like I'm participating in the journey of the company. So that's quite important.
Yeah. Sounds fun. Edwin, what about your part? How often do you speak to your investor and how often do you update them?
Okay, I think it's like everyone else. So we give report every quarter. Okay, so it's part of the requirements. Okay, so in terms of like special cases, actually we receive a few special cases where they just say they want to exit. No, I think ECF investors are very educated, so they don't shout or anything. Is yeah, no, like they want to sell the share, then okay, let's find a willing buyer, willing seller. So yeah, so far all the investors is very good. Yeah.
So I just, I mean, we hear a lot of stories about like when we mentioned, retail investors are controlling. They want to be part of your company. They try to talk to you because they're now investors. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that similar, or have you only have pleasant experience with investor or retail investor that only wants to help the company? Anyone has any interesting story to share? Evan, you look delighted. You look like you have some exciting stories.
Yeah, I mean, actually, a lot of our investors help us a lot, right? So so some of investors actually bring us to their CEO networks and things like that. There was a time that we seriously need help in automating our operations in digital, and our investors come in and help us to sort out the licensing mechanisms internally, and we are using that system until today. Before we are moving to the new systems, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's quite fun. I mean, eventually we are having the relationship with the people, and some of course some have people, some have lesser relationship, but eventually I think you would get more helps than the others disruption or of focus distraction. So I think most importantly try to get the value out of it. If you can write reports and ask for help, right? So if you really need some help, so that's where it goes.
Thank you, Evan. Edwin, maybe you have any interesting stories to share?
Actually, no. Yeah, there's no interesting stories to share. Yeah, but I feel that ECF is actually a very good I mean usually for early stage investment they get the highest return, right? If there's an intention to go IPO, it's actually very good repo to get the first batch of ECF getting a lot of returns, and they build a lot of repo out in the market. In my opinion, when I go IPO, then everyone will say, okay, I have this X return with signature market, and you should really invest in this company. So it's a good repo for me as well. Yeah.
Sounds exciting. Wei Min, what about your part? Because you raised 2 rounds with Pitchin. I'm sure you have a lot of retail investor. How was it like dealing with them?
I think a lot of them were very enthusiastic in helping. We just asked, and then a lot of people would say, for example, although we didn't, like for example, the last time we were asking for some introduction to some bankers, we got connected to super high level, at a lot of different banks. Even FN helped me to connect to some. So I think this is just one of the many instances where we reach out, and we have a WhatsApp group, and we just say, oh, this is what I need. Anyone can help. Then people will just say, oh, I know this, I know that, and they PM me, and then that's how things goes lah.
So you have a WhatsApp chat group with all your retail investors?
Yeah.
Does Evan and Edwin has the same thing?
This is an interesting concept. I don't have it. I was involved in a few that I personally put a little bit investments on. I myself on the Kakitangan side, I didn't dare to do it. First thing is an early stage. In fact, there was investors was concerning if we send out the email that they know others people email. So phone number is the worst, right? We realized that in the early days when we're dealing with it, so we didn't dare to actually go to the WhatsApp group that then the people feel like their phone number get released. But seems like Wei Ming there no issue. So
Edwin, do you also have a group chat with all your investors?
No. So if they need to ask question, they just email me. Yeah.
Wow, Wei Min, you are front end. You're just like, hey, you know what? Anything, just reach out. That's very daring. Like, how and when did you decide? Was it the first round that you decided to create a group chat, or was it something that you've been wanting to do?
We did that since the first round. I think we did it since the first round.
Wow.
We did it since the first round.
Does it feel stressful knowing that they have your phone number, anything wrong, anything they see? I'm sure they are very, intuitive. They want to reach out to you. And how does it make you feel as a founder?
I think I treat it positively.
Okay.
There are a lot of comments initially about our website and stuff like that. Sometimes there were even cases where they spotted bugs in our system where we weren't aware of, and they just feedback to us, right? So I mean,
does it hurt the ego? Does it hurt the feeling?
In fact, that's quite good actually, right? So
I mean, you have free cyber troopers. Some people will even, oh, there's a new competitor, check this out, so you have eyes everywhere basically.
Yeah.
So
Evan, would you consider doing it after this?
I don't know. Maybe it happens that we at our stage at the 2016, right? So we had investors that's not happy that their identity get exposed. So then
very different group. It seems.
Yeah, very different group.
Wow. Okay, so I have a question from the floor. So, this person is a beginner retail investor, and they're asking what can he or she expect out of a company, and should he or she attend all the meetings / updates? I think what this question is trying to ask is, let's say after they've invested in your company, what should they expect out of the founders? What is a reasonable expectation out of founders? And should the person attend in all meetings and updates scheduled by the founders?
I think everyone have different investment appetite or different return needs, right? Let me give myself an example, right? So I myself also invest in quite some case with my minimum capability that I can do, because people invested in Kakitangan. So for me, it's like I felt, I could do the same for the projects I like. In fact, in many cases, in a lot of cases, I didn't think about the ROI yet. So I'm another type of people, right? So, for example, there was one case I exited so far. So that case was Scholar Fund, right? So it was a scholarship for the poor people, right? I just love what they do, right? So in that case, I don't even care about how much I make in the exit, right? So I just hope that they can help more people and grow. So different investors has different appetites and different intentions.
Yeah.
So in that case, I mean, from our side, it's very hard to say, hey, investor, you should come and join or not come and join. It is totally, up to them. But I would say it's like for the founders, coming from founder, I think founders' perspective, or any cases I invest on the ECF, I would encourage them to actually ask for help, ask questions. If they need help, anything, if they need help, don't hide it, ask for it, and try to figure out how to get it done, because eventually you need to, you're here to improve the company.
Yeah.
And that the investor value is based on how the company gets improved.
Yeah.
So that's where I would suggest.
Okay, thank you, Evan. So Edwin will be right back. He's having some issue. So Wei Ming, you mentioned that you have a group chat. Your investors are all willing and eagerly to help you find things around the company. So as let's say a retail investor, let's say I'm a retail investor and I invest in you, what should I expect out of SpeedHome? What should I expect you to do for me? Just be reasonable. You can put your point of view as a founder, right? Because you raised 2 rounds. What is a reasonable expectation for a retail investor out of a founder?
I think constant communication, the quarterly update would be, some of the minimum requirements. And obviously, you want to, sometimes because in crowdfunding is not liquid, right? So obviously you are kind of you are in for the long-term investment, right? So obviously one of the key things that I always get asked was when can we exit, multiple times in different occasions, right? I think everyone needs to be aligned with the founder's vision, be it it's IPO or whatnot. I think the alignment of expectation is very, very critical, or else there are cases, there could be cases, not saying that I experience it, where the investor would say that the founders are lying and all those things, right? So generally, I think, like for example, there are cases where I've heard people expecting to exit because of the secondary listing or whatever, secondary sale, and it's not happening. And some are stuck with their stocks and they urgently want to exit. And they will blame that the founder, didn't do their job and whatnot. So I think one thing to invest in, especially early stage company, is that you are in for the long term. Anything that is shorter than 5 years, you to exit within 5 years is a super big bonus.
Yeah.
And along the way, there will be a lot of company go bust, to be very, but I think so long you spread your risk wide enough, I think you should be okay. Don't expect all companies to be to be really successful. I think that one is just some alignment. Yeah.
I see. I think that's fair, right? 5 years, anything less than 5 is a bonus. You're here in for the long run. So Edwin, what is the, oh, sorry, I think you missed out earlier. So the question from the floor is, let's say I were to invest in your company as a first-time investor, what is the reasonable expectation out of you?
Okay, so I think for ECF, right, is actually a very good platform for retail investor. And the good thing about ECF is actually they get to access to the founder, right? So like if you invest in a Bursa and you do not get to communicate with the CEO of some big companies, but in ECF is interesting, I can join a WhatsApp group with Wei Ming, and I can talk to Wei Ming, and so it's actually something really great. Okay, and as a retail investor, is actually a lot of the investment that I made. I actually talk to the founders to understand their industry. It's also instead of like just investing money to get returns, right? I actually investing, I get returns, and I also get education. I understand the industry. I get access to the CEO, the founders. Just make friends with them. I will never know. Like maybe after 5 or 7 years, Wei Ming is like the billionaire of Malaysia. So wow, it's my friend. This is part of the perks for investing in ECF.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, I think the plus one, right? So when I put down money in other companies, it's like right. So this is something that I'm interested. I want to really understand how the journey is. This is another thing. If you see it as your personal tuition fee, this is a good learning, right? So on how you get the first hand information on how these things are moving on and build it up. In fact, the how do I say? I think not only retail investor could gain from this kind of thing. If you notice, lots of companies that buy up the Facebook pre-IPO share, the whole intention is not about ROI. It's putting the Facebook in their logo.
Yeah.
Right? We invested in Facebook. Right. So at the end of the day, if you think about it, that's why I said ROI is one thing. But what do we get in this 3-5 years journey? Why I put down the money, why I'm deciding to actually go with this campaign or not. Sometimes it is also very valuable. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And learn how to calculate the value of this company is a big enough value, right? So you learn you learn to practice your investment later on, right?
Yeah. Okay, I think we can, I think time is almost up. Perhaps we can get each founder to do a closing remark for everyone that is looking to invest. Any advice for them, or any comment and feedback or anything? Afan, you want to start?
Well, for anyone who is interested to invest or to be invest via the equity crowdfunding, all the best. Be sure and be well in the communication, especially founders. Be very careful on what you're saying. Don't talk about 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Normally, startup, small companies, it's better you don't oversell than you oversell, right? So if you are setting this expectation and you overachieve it, is always a good thing. But if you're setting that expectation and you underachieve it, sorry, man, right? So that's always the case. Be very careful on what that communication is brought out. So good luck. Thanks.
Thank you, Afan. Wei Ming, do you have any last words for the audience today?
Yeah, I think I invested in some ECF companies as well. I think investing in startups or early emerging companies is very rewarding in the sense where the CEOs would open to speak with you. Just don't bother them every now and then, right? But they are very open to suggestions, and I think generally if you are in a good motivation to help the company, they are willingly to help, willingly to listen, and I think it's a very rewarding journey when the business you invest in did well, and eventually the ROI or whatever that pays you back, right? So again, it can be a high risk investment, but at the same time, as usual, you have to do your due diligence to speak with the owner, the founder, and make sure that he's reliable and not just talk only, no action, that kind of people. I think then at least you're on for something good.
Thank you, Wei Ming. Edwin, any last words?
Okay, so my advice for investors is when you invest in property, it's all about location. But when you invest in a startup, like ECF, is all about the founders. Okay, so founders. So choose the founder that you like. You attend and just feel the way how they talk. It's not good or bad. Is your chemistry comfortable or not? Then you invest. Yeah. So that's my advice. Yeah.
I have one last question that came in. Is any of you still looking to raise through equity crowdfunding? And this is asking on behalf of those that missed the opportunity, way back. Are you guys looking to raise through equity crowdfunding anytime soon? Evan, maybe you can start.
Not anytime soon.
Anytime soon. Wei Ming?
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet. I like that, Edwin.
Yeah. For us, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, the story of this is if you see a company you like, you invest early because now you've lost the chance. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating and joining us today. I hope all of you had a great time. Thank you and bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.